Okay. Are you able to see my screen? So please confirm if you can able to see my screen. So I'm asking, so please confirm whether you can able to see my screen or not.
No, sir.
What about others?
Now we can.
No. So today we are going to discuss about source code management. Source code management. Okay. So what is source code management? Okay. So in a project, so different people will be working. So and all the people will be writing code. Okay. It can be HTML code, or it can be Java code, or it can be any shell scripting. So it could be anything. So that we have to store that code in somewhere else, right? It's not like, okay, I am writing the code and I will share, I am storing in my local machine, and whenever someone needs, I will share that code through email or some other media. So that is not the case. So it has to be maintained somewhere so that everyone can able to access, and also there should be a proper mechanism who can access and what, how can they access, and what after we made the changes, if someone take that code and if someone make their own changes, how those changes needs to be tracked. All this is a kind of mechanism. Okay. So this concept is called as source code management. In order to maintain this source code management, there are certain tools are there. Okay. So few of them are, so here, different. Okay. Yeah. Let's say one developer is working from India and other developer is working from USA. Okay, so they both are working in the same project. So in India, once I log off, then the US business hours will start, right? So once I am done with my work, the person who is working from USA will take the same code and he will apply his own changes once he is in. Once he is done with his changes, so he will again upload that code to some location, and the next day I have to take that code and I have to apply my own changes where he finished these changes. Yes or no? Do I need to apply the same changes again which are applied by the other developer? No, right? So it is the pipeline between offshore and onshore. Is this clear, guys? And it is helpful to track the changes. So today I have done 100 lines of code. Okay. And I have placed in somewhere, some location. By the time I am out of the office, okay, I log off. So the US team will take that code and again they have added 20 more lines and they will upload the version, the updated version into the repository. Repository is nothing but a place where all the code is present. Okay. Yeah. So here again, if I want to make any more extra changes, I have to take the version which is having 100 lines or which is having 120 lines. Which one is the latest? Come on, guys. I am asking a question. You guys are not even answering, right? You don't want me to ask any questions. You want me to explain whatever I want. Why you guys are so dumb, guys? I am asking something. You have to be answer that question, right? It's your wish. It is the pipeline between offshore and onshore. Okay, I will just write the notes and I will explain whatever I want to. So if you understood, okay. Even if you don't understand, also do anyway. You will not going to ask any questions, right? Fine. So even if you line a dot to the code, then also whoever added the dot, at what time the dot is added, all those details will be tracked with the help of source management tools. Okay. So most widely used tools. Okay. So there are some tools available in the market, so which will serve the same purpose. Those tools are called as version control tools or source management tools. Okay. And one of the popular one and widely used one is Git. Okay. And the second one is SVM. It is the most advanced tool. And the second one is SVM. The third one is Perforce. And the fourth one is ClearCase. Okay. So like this, there are other tools also available in the market, but these four are widely used by majority of the companies. Out of these four, Git is taking the majority shareholder. Okay. Most of the 75% of the companies are using Git only. And remaining 25 SVN and all other tools will come. Okay. Yeah. So here I will explain how this Git works. Okay. Is anyone need to join? Today I will explain how the Git workflow, how it works. Tomorrow I will show you how to do it practically. Okay. So if you understand today's concept, it will be easy for you to understand tomorrow as well. Yeah. So here this is one EC2 machine. Okay. So this is another EC2 machine. Okay. So here EC2 machine is nothing but an instance which is created on AWS. Yes or no? That is nothing but one machine. Okay. Here username is Vinay from Mumbai. In my Mumbai region, I have launched one EC2 instance. EC2 from Mumbai region. Okay, yeah. Here, one more user is there, one more developer. One more developer is nothing but Sai. Sai is one more developer from London. Okay, this is his own EC2 instance. EC2 from London. Okay, yeah. Here, first of all, we have to install Git tool in our machine. So how can we install the Git tool in our machine? What is the command? This is our EC2 Linux instance. We have to install Git. How can we do that? Yum install Git. If I execute that command, Git will be installed. Okay, so Git will be installed. Okay, this is Git. This is Git. Okay, so whenever we install something, so a folder will be created with that name. Okay, so now we have to enter into that folder, Git folder. How can we enter into Git folder in Linux? With the help of cd space slash, and we have to give the path where that Git folder is located. If we give that path, we will enter into that Git folder. After that, if you type pwd, it will show you the location of where you are currently. Okay, yeah. So now we are in Git folder. Here in that Git folder, we have to run the command called git init. Okay, if we type git init, so this there will be 3 subfolders will be created. This will be partitioned into this Git folder will be partitioned into 3 parts. Okay, so those 3 parts are, this is one part. Okay, and these are the other 2 parts. Okay, yeah. Here, this one is called as a work directory. So work directory is nothing but where you are storing your work. This is your workspace. Okay, this is your work directory. Okay, and here first we have to type git. After that, okay, here this portions will be created after we run the which command? Git space init. If you type this one, these 3 spaces will be created. One is work directory, and second one is staging or index. Staging or index. This part is called as staging or index. And the third one is called as local repository. Okay, this is the local repository. Here I haven't done anything new. I have just installed this git with the help of yum install git command, so that this git will be created, git folder will be created. I have entered into that git directory and I have executed this git init command, so that this git space will be partitioned into 3 parts, out of which first part is called as work directory, and the second one is called stage and index, and the third one is called as local repository. Okay, here in the work directory, I have created one file. Okay, this is our work directory. I have created one file here. Okay, yeah. Here, in that file, I have added some ABC XYZ. These two lines of code I have written in that file. Okay. After that, what I will do, I will add this file to staging directory. I will be doing my work in the work directory. Once I am done with writing the code, what I will do is I will add this code to this staging. Okay. Yeah. The same file. Okay. So here, what kind of lines it will be having? ABC XYZ. The same file will be added to here. What is the command? I mean, what we are doing? We are adding this file to this staging location. Once this is done, what we have to do is we have to copy the same file. I mean, we have to move this file to staging. In the staging, there is one concept is there. So that is nothing but branching. Okay, there will be in one tree will be there. In one tree, there will be one branch or multiple branches. Multiple
Multiple.
branches will be available, but in the bottom you will see only one part. So when it go up, so you can see multiple branches all together belongs to the same tree only. In the project also, there will be multiple modules. Different teams will be working on different modules parallelly. It's not like okay, one module is completed, then only other team of people will start the second module. No, in the agile methodology, all the method all the modules will be decided and will go in a parallel way. So, okay, for each module, for each task, or for each idea, a separate branch will be created. So, here branchings will be available. In the local repository, branches are available. Okay, each branch is nothing but one module. Okay, as of now, you remember like this. Each module branch is nothing but a module in the project or a idea of the project or a task of the project. Can be anything. Okay. So once this is added to staging, what you have to do, you have to commit that code. You have developed the code here and you have added to staging. Once it is added to staging, you have to commit that code. Once you commit that code, it will be added to the branching which is available in the local repository. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now it will be added here. How it is added? This is nothing but commit the code to your local repository. You have developed this code, you add it to staging, and the once that is done, it is added to the staging. You commit that code. Once you commit the code, it will add it to the local repository and it will add it to the branching. Branch exist in the local repository. It added to that branch. Okay. This is how you will save your code in your local Git. Okay. This is called as branch here. this branch. Okay, you developed the code fast in your work directory. Once the code development is done, you moved the same code to, you added this code to staging. Moving the code from work directory to staging is called adding. Okay, once here it is added, it will get committed to local repository. So that means it is added to the branch that is available in the local repository. This is how you will code it. Okay. So once you commit the code, na, you from moving staging to this local repository, you will commit the code. What does it mean? Every time you commit the code, a commit ID will be created. Okay, first you added ABC and you moved to staging and then you committed, so that a commit ID will be created. So how many times you commit the code, so those many times a unique version ID will be created. That is nothing but commit ID. If you added ABC and you saved it and you committed it, it is the first version. After one day, again you added some more line XYZ and you moved to staging and you committed to local repository, so that it will get creates another ID, another commit ID. Why? Because you made the changes for 2 times. So it has to maintain all the versions, how many times the changes are made. As part of commit ID, what is the exact change it made from the previous commit ID? That is how it will create the commit ID. Commit ID is used to track the changes which are made as part of that ID. Okay, yeah. So now this is done. This is there in your local machine. Now today your time is over and now Sai is logged in London location, and Sai wants to take this code and start applying his changes on the version. Then how can he get the code from the local repository of Vinay's machine? Is there any way to get this code? Are you following or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So he can directly send it through email, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But is this the right approach? No. So what they will do is, there will be one GitHub. Okay. So GitHub. So GitHub is something which is developed by company Microsoft. Okay. So this will be used as a central repository. Okay. Central repository is nothing but it's just like our Google Drive, where all the companies and all the developers create one account. For company, one account will be created. Okay. In that account, we will be sharing our code. You just assume, guys, I have an access to Google Drive and you also have the access to Google Drive. I shared that file and I have given you the link. Can you access from Google Drive and can you access from my mobile? I have one photo in my mobile. Okay. Google Drive is there. If I place that in Google Drive and if I share that link with you, can you able to access or not? You can able to access. Here, Google Drive is a central repository that can be accessible by different people. Okay. In the same way, once we have moved our code to local repository, the next step is we have to move the same code to central repository. That central repository is nothing but our GitHub. GitHub is the storage space, online storage space, where all the project codes and everything will be available. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah. No. So now this is GitHub. Okay. Yeah. GitHub, in that we have an account. Okay, this is our account. This is called as central repository. Central repository. Central repository. This will have all the code. Okay. Yeah. So now, in order to share this code, Sai will not directly access to our EC2 machine. Yes or no? Can one laptop communicate to other laptop directly without having an intermediate?
No.
And this is in
No.
London region and this is in Mumbai region. How can these two machines access with each other? That is not possible. Okay?
Virtual.
So, sorry? Someone is saying something. So what he has to do, once Vinay has completed his coding and he has to move this and he have to move to local repository to the branching, and then he have to move that code from here to here. He have to share that copy here. Okay, so that process is called push. You have to push the code from your local repository to central repository. Placing the code from local repository to central repository. Placing the code from your branch, your local repository branch to central repository is called push. Just remember these terms: add, commit, now push. Okay, this is called push. So if you push the code, a copy of your code will be available in the central repository. That is nothing but GitHub. Okay, Git and GitHub both are not same. GitHub is the central repository. Git is a tool to use, maintain your source code in your local machine. Okay, push. Now this file will be available in central repository. This is fine. So here, what kind of code is there now? ABC, XYZ. Okay, this code is available now. Now, what Sai has to do, how can Sai get this code from this GitHub? In order to get this from GitHub, Sai also needs to install the Git in his local machine or not? As I am having Git in my machine, I can able to push the code from this Git to this GitHub. Similarly, I want to take the code from GitHub. In that way also, do we need to have Git in our machine or not? I
Yes,
am
sir.
getting a message from my WhatsApp. Okay. Can you able to receive that WhatsApp message if you don't have WhatsApp in your mobile?
No.
No.
The same way, you are trying to access this GitHub. You want to get the GitHub code. So you have to install the Git on your local machine. If not, you will not get your, you will not be able to get the code to your local directory. Okay.
Okay.
So here what we have to do in EC2 machine, first we have to install the Git. Yes or no? This is Git. Okay. And here I have to run the command called git init. Yes or no? After running git init, 3 portions will be created. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so same structure it has to available, right? So it is waste of time if I draw again. I'm not good at drawing and all these things. Okay, yeah. So here Sai is the user from London. Okay. Now what Sai has to do? This code is available. Sai has to install the Git so that initially forget about these boxes, guys. Sai has to install the Git, and in the Git folder he has to execute the command called git init so that this work directory, staging, and local repository, these three will get created. These three portions will be created. After that, in order to get this file, what Sai has to do? Sai has to pull that code. If we want to place our code in the central repository, we have to push the code. If we want to take the code from the central repository, we have to pull. Pushing means placing inside. Pulling means getting outside. Okay. Here we have to pull that code. From here, we have to pull. Okay. ABC XYZ. We have to pull. Okay. So this operation is called as pull. If we want to work on the code which is already available in the central repository, we have to pull that code from the central repository. Now pull. Once this pull operation is completed, you can able to see your ABC XYZ file in your work directory. Okay. Now you will be starting your work and you have added some extra lines of code here. Okay. You have added some 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 you added. Once you done with your changes, you have to add this cost. Now this part is done, guys. Okay, now this part is done. You have pulled the code and that code is available in your work directory. Now you are started working on your coding part. So you have taken this file and you have added your extra code 1, 2, 3. After that, what we have to do? Whatever Vinay has done on his local machine, the same operations you also have to done, right? Whatever the operations you are doing in the staging directory and the local repository directory, that is same. There you are not doing any code modifications. Where you will do your code modifications in the work directory only, you will make your coding changes. Once your coding changes are done in your working directory, you have to add this code to staging. That is nothing but, so here now you will see the file as ABC XYZ or ABC 123.
ABC XYZ 123.
This XYZ 123. This is the extra piece of code. This will be added to now staging index, and the same thing will be committed to. Same thing will be
Local repository.
local repository of Sai. So I mean, same thing will be added to the branch. Okay, here you will see 1, 2, 3. So when this happens, a unique commit ID will be created. Commit ID. What is commit ID? Whenever you commit any code to local branch or local repository, a commit ID will be created. With the help of that commit ID, we can track the changes. What kind of changes has been made as part of this commit ID? It is same as you will be having a bank account. Someone will also be having a bank account. But if I send 1 rupee to your account, what will happen? A transaction ID will be created or not? Every time a transaction, if 1 rupee is sent or 1,000 rupees are sent, that doesn't matter. Whenever a transaction happens from one account to other account, what will happen? A account ID will be created for each and every transaction. What is the use of the transaction ID? That transaction ID is used to uniquely identify about the transaction information. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So here commit ID is also same. Here you will see 1, 2, 3 now. Okay. Now this 1, 2, 3 is done and size work timings are done. He is done for the day. So before he leaving, what he has to do? He has to submit this code for Vinay. Tomorrow morning he will come and he will start working, right? By the time he is sleeping, the Vinay will be start working. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Come on, guys, yes or no?
Push the code into GitHub.
So he has to move this code to GitHub, yes or no? So how can
Yes,
he
sir.
move code to GitHub?
By pushing.
By pushing. Correct. It's pushing. So here it will have some extra data. That is nothing but 1, 2, 3. Now Vinay has to pull this code. If he want to start working on this code, what he has to do? Now he has to perform the pull operation. Yes or no? He has to pull that code to his local repository. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One, two, three. Okay. This is how we can work and we can access staging and we can access local repository. Once that is done, how to push this code to central repository and how the other developer will pull that code. This is how it works. This is the life cycle of our Git. Not completely 100%. On and overall, this is how Git works. We will see practically how to create a file in the Git work directory, how to move to staging, and how to commit, okay, and how to push that code to some central repository, how to pull the code which is already available in the central repository, and how to add it to the branch. All these things, what commands we need to execute. We'll see this from tomorrow onwards. Now, if you don't understand anything, so please ask your questions now.
No doubt, sir. Everything is clear.
Okay, so we'll see this practically in tomorrow session. Okay, even if I start, it will the time will not be sufficient. So we'll see this in tomorrow session. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can ask me, or else we can end the session, guys.